In this video, I wanted to caution the aspiring data scientists about some of the potential problems they would be running into as they further pursue this career. And also, I'll be sharing with you a slightly alternative path which you can take to overcome most of these challenges. My name is Anwar and I've been working as a data scientist in some of the big tech companies for the last 10 years. And over all these years, I've come across a lot of people who wanted to become a data scientist and came across a lot of challenges. So the purpose of this video is to lay out in front of you some of those challenges, not with the purpose of dissuading you, but with the purpose of educating you, so that based on all that information, you can make some educated decisions to best navigate your career. Now, in order to explain those challenges, let's first look at some of these LinkedIn job postings for the role of junior data scientists. As you can see, they are asking for a lot of experience with a lot of diverse kind of skill sets. You need to know programming, you need to know SQL, you need to know cloud technologies, you need to know statistics, and the kind of things they are asking for is just a lot for a single person, especially who is junior in the role, to cover. But the main problem is that most of these skills which they are asking for, they are very deep fields. Take for example programming or statistics or cloud technologies. You can easily spend 2 to 3 years to develop strong expertise in any single of these fields. And even if you are able to get some surface level knowledge of all these fields, your chances of succeeding in the interview process is still very slim, because you would be competing against people who would be having deep expertise in a lot of these fields because they just have much more experience. And because of this exact reason, data science is one of the hardest field for a newcomer to get into. By the way, to overcome this exact challenge, I've created a free resource which is a roadmap on how to crack data science and machine learning interviews in the most efficient way. It is free of cost and the link is in the description below. So now, as it is very difficult for a new beginner to develop sufficient expertise in all these varied skill sets, companies are also aware of it. That is why when you look at the number of data science roles which are open for senior people, they are much more as compared to data science and machine learning roles which are requiring zero or very few experience. I've covered this topic in much more detail in another video where I've covered that is this a senior only tech market. That phenomena is true for most tech roles, but I think when it comes to data science and ML, it is even more pronounced because companies are willing to hire experienced data science and machine learning engineers much more than they're willing to hire junior data scientists. And the reason is very obvious. Companies know that it is just impossible for someone who is getting right out of college or has very few experience to have strong expertise across all these varied skill sets. Now, as I said, the purpose of this video is not to dissuade you. Data science and machine learning is still one of the best professions to get into, because when you look at the kind of salaries data scientists and machine learning engineers get once they have some experience and are good enough to get jobs in the top tech companies, it is just phenomenal and mind-blowing. So of course, like any other rewarding field, getting into data science and machine learning is hard. But once you get into it, then the kind of rewards you'll be getting in terms of salary packages, they are just very impressive. You can also look into that by going into salary sharing websites like levels.fyi and look for machine learning and data science roles, and you would be amazed in what kind of salaries they are getting. And data science, AI, ML are probably the only tech roles which are still growing in the current tech job market, which is very tough. This graph from TrueUp shows that the number of open jobs for AI, ML are just increasing when the jobs for pretty much every other tech role are on the decline. Now, in order to propose a solution to the challenges which you would be coming across as a beginner data scientist, I'm proposing a slightly alternative path. And that is that instead of becoming a data scientist in your very first role, you should be looking into applying for a slightly adjacent role, and that is of data analyst or business analyst. And the reason I propose that is that when you look for number of open roles, especially for junior positions, there are a lot more companies which are hiring for data analyst roles as compared to data science or machine learning roles. So there is just a lot more demand for junior positions. Also, when you look at the kind of skill set they need, they mainly ask for SQL and some kind of dashboarding or reporting tool. And that makes the interview loops much easier to crack than cracking data science and machine learning roles. And another reason for me proposing this alternative path is that it is very much in alignment with your overall long-term goal of becoming a data scientist or machine learning engineer. As a data analyst, you would be learning SQL, you would be knowing how to handle data pipelines, you would be learning dashboarding and reporting tools, and you would be getting some on-the-job experience of what are some of the data challenges and problems businesses have and how do you overcome those. And most likely as a data analyst, you would be working in direct contact with machine learning and data scientists in your team. This gives you a lot of exposure and experience which you can then use to either change your role in the same company to a data science or machine learning engineer, or apply elsewhere based on all the knowledge you have gathered as a data analyst. So data analyst is not actually an alternative path. It is a step in that same direction where you're planning to go. And you can use this as a stepping stone if you think getting into data science and machine learning roles is giving you a very hard time. But if you have luxury of time and if you are persistent and passionate enough, by all means go for data science and machine learning roles directly. As I said, I've created a free guide which can help you best allocate your time on the resources which gives you the best amount of information so that in the minimum amount of time you can prepare in the best possible way for cracking the data science and machine learning roles. The guide is absolutely free of cost. The link is in the description. And also check out this video in which I have covered on what are some of the misconceptions and wrong advice out there which is wasting a lot of time for aspiring data scientists. I hope by going through that video you can avoid some of those common mistakes and save a lot of time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.